today's video is going to be about our living room area, and we're going to be tackling this wall over here. We're going to put our trim around the edges. I kind of decided that at the last minute, but I'm going to put trim around the edges, and then we're going to put our wallpaper. So we're going to get started. I'm going to clear this area. We just got a few little things over here, and we're going to get started. All right, y'all. So I'm going to introduce y'all to our robot. We call him Marvin, and this is Marvin's room. If you know, you know, but yeah, we named it Marvin. And I don't think we named our little air purifier, but we definitely got a name for him. All right, Marvin, I have to unplug you. Another thing I plan to change is this control switch. This actually controls the speaker up here. And we don't have this system hooked up yet, but I do want to change this to white. Or I'm thinking about wrapping this with the wallpaper, this as well. And I'm gonna clean this, of course. Those get dirty and ugly, so definitely gonna clean that. I'm also going to paint the trim around here because when we got it painted, they only did maybe 2 coats. And if you remember, this whole wall was like a brown color, and the trim just need like 1 more coat of paint. So hopefully we got enough paint. All right, so we have our trim. Not sure if I like that at the bottom. Okay, so when I bought this, I really like how thick it was, but I didn't account for how thin this was. So it's 2 different widths or thicknesses. So I'm just gonna put this on top of this. This part is gonna stick out a little bit more, but y'all, I gotta get this done, so we're gonna roll with it. All right, so this is how it looks so far. Of course, I'm gonna go in and caulk these little holes here. Now I'm gonna start on this side and add the trim up here. Then I'm gonna add the trim across. Okay guys, I'm gonna take a quick pause for now, and I'm gonna let you guys know the big news I have to tell you from last week's video. So the news is that we're pregnant. Yes, we are pregnant. We're pregnant, and yeah, we're gonna do this thing, even pregnant. We're gonna be safe, and we're gonna do it. So we actually found out back in February, and I'm currently 3 months, going on 4 months next week. So I'm 15 weeks now, and we are so excited to have a little one. And that is why we are trying to get our first tour done and just get everything prepared for the baby to arrive. So part 2 of the good news is that we're gonna be doing a nursery. And if you notice me moving a little slow or if I'm out of breath, that is why. I think that's one of my biggest pregnancy symptoms, even when I first got pregnant, is having shortness of breath. So I just try to take it easy and just, you know, go and just listen to my body and not to strain too much. And doing this project doesn't take a lot of work, so it's just being careful on the ladder and just playing everything safe, wearing a mask, especially if I'm dealing with chemicals or things like that, and keeping my hands washed. I did talk to my doctor, and she said that doing projects like this is perfectly fine as long as I'm staying safe. And in fact, she told me her story of doing DIYs while she was pregnant last year. That's that. So we're gonna continue putting up this trim. I'm excited for how this is turning out. Yeah, I think this was the best bet to go for. So my thing was having this wall line up with the wallpaper and it looking a little cheesy. So that is why I added the trim. So the wallpaper, okay, what are we doing? Okay, so that the wallpaper can live within these bounds. And it doesn't look awkward. It doesn't have like an abrupt change or an abrupt transition from the white to the dark wallpaper. So I think this was the best bet. Although at the bottom, we know how I feel about that, but we'll change it later, right? We'll change it later. So this wall is definitely not straight. It is a nice gap right here. All right, so y'all, this is what we're working with so far. I think it looks pretty good. Of course, we're gonna paint and caulk these little seams down here, but I just have to add the top one and we're ready to add our wallpaper. Well, no, we have to paint. We have to paint and caulk. Don't like it, but we're gonna do it. Our wall is looking so much better. I did cut the top part a little bit too short, if you guys can see that gap, but I'm gonna try to caulk it, and especially like up here. All right, so I got my caulk and I'm gonna go ahead and caulk these little holes. It's been about 2 days now and I had to take a break. Like my whole body was aching after just doing this little part here. And so I know I gotta take it a little slow when it comes to, you know, these hormones and pregnancy and things like that. So we're back getting started. I already painted. Actually, I painted yesterday. So I didn't show that part. Painting is boring, caulking is boring. So I saved you guys the boringness and I just did it, but it looks really good. And forgive my attire, I'm looking crazy, y'all. But I'm in the house and this is my pregnancy woes and I just feel like I could bum it out a little bit, so bear with me. What we are going to beautify is this room. Like, we're gonna beautify this room, we're gonna make it homey, and we're gonna get it together, okay? So right now we're about to put up our wallpaper, and I'm a little nervous about that because this wallpaper is from TEMU and I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out and I'm not sure how it's gonna adhere to the wall properly, but we're gonna see and see if TEMU comes through. I also have to be very, very careful climbing this ladder and doing all this because I have two to protect right now. We're gonna be very careful and I'm gonna take my time and see you guys in the next clip. Hopefully we got enough because if we don't, I'm not sure what we're gonna do, honestly. All right, so I am gonna remove our outlet covers, but this one has to stay, so I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna put it or cut around this. That's gonna be tough, but we're gonna remove these right now. All right, so we got some done, probably like almost 18 inches worth. Now we're at our speaker, so this is where it's gonna get a little crazy at. We made some progress with our speaker. I'm taking it very slow because this paper is very thin, but it's looking good already, y'all. I love it. I love it. You can even tell like it's some blue in it, a little bit like a blue tone. So I do like that. Brings a little color. All right, so we have our speaker cut out, but I did have some issues right here, so I had to cut it because it was like really, they had like a lot of slack right here, so I had to cut right here, but I'm gonna find a way to kind of blend it so it doesn't give you that line. And then I had to add a little small piece here, so I'm gonna try to blend this with my heat gun a little later, but we gotta cut out. We got a lot to go. We gotta do all the way down there, and we have all of this left, so we're like an hour in. Pray for me, y'all. All right, y'all, so we have our first panel up. I still have to cut up there. Doesn't look too bad. On to number 2. All right, so we got our second panel up. I think the pattern is the wrong way. So I did end up flipping it. I feel like it looks a little bit better. In some parts you can see some lines, but I'm gonna figure out a way to kind of blend those together, even if I gotta paint it just a little bit or just smudge it so it could blend in better. But I feel like this looks a lot better. I think taking it down was worth it. All right, so we have our third panel on. It actually looks a lot better than this side, but again, we're gonna try to blend this a little more, but it doesn't look too bad. All right, panel number 4 is up, and we're moving on to this section. All right, y'all, so our wallpaper is now up. I have to go around and cut off the edges, and then we're gonna put our light switches back on, and we're gonna do a final reveal of our wallpaper. All right, guys, so it is getting late and we finished our wallpaper. I do want to go ahead and blend some areas because you can see like some lines throughout it, especially on this side. The first one that I did, or in between, I don't know if you guys can see it. In between the second one I did, you can see like some lines in the area. So I'm gonna try to blend it, probably get some, I'll probably get like some paint or something, just kind of dab it so it can blend in just a little bit more. Everything else turned out pretty well. I do have to put the light covers on. I am going to wrap these so that it can blend in because I don't know, I really don't want to put white covers on here, and I don't want to put any cream color or ivory colors on. That wraps up our DIY for tonight, y'all. I'm tired. Everything is so much more strenuous when you're pregnant. Like, I feel like I worked all day and I did not. I got up early this morning and I went back to sleep. I was so tired, like the fatigue is crazy. I'm trying to finish the house up so that when we have company, you know, the house looks a little bit better than it usually is, like not as empty or just like not a lot of furniture going on. So hopefully we can get this finished, especially before our gender reveal, even though it's gonna be like a small little gender reveal with our, you wanna talk? Come on, come in. You wanna say hi to the camera? So he wants to talk. You wanna get in the camera? You wanna say night-night to everybody? Night-night, see you guys tomorrow. And here's Ollie. You wanna say night to the people? Say good night. We'll finish tomorrow. Aw. Get them kisses. Get them kisses. Alright guys, so it's the next day and I am back. I'm looking very dressed down because I'm in the house. And this is my pregnant chronicles. Like, I don't feel like dressing up, y'all. But anyway, today we are going to complete this wall, right? So it's already done for the most part. I did think about blending the lines, but I'm gonna leave it for now until it really, really bothers me, because when I came down here a second time, I was like, this is it. So I'm so glad that I decided to go with this wallpaper. I'm also glad that I decided to go with the trim around it so that the wallpaper doesn't look as cheesy, and actually it gives this wall a more canvas feel, okay? So now to complete this wall, we have to put on our light switch and outlet covers. But before I do that, I'm going to gently clean them because they're a little dirty. Someone is licking my house shoe. I do want to show you guys the covers. This is how they look. So I just wrapped them with the wallpaper so they actually match the wallpaper. So I'm excited about that part. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and clean these and then we're gonna complete this wall. So unfortunately, this groove would not go inside. The top part will, but and just a little bit, because this kind of is loose too. But I think these use a different type of screw, so we're just gonna leave this here for now. We don't even use this outlet right now anyway, so we're just gonna leave this as is. And we are all done. Here's the outlet down here, and then here is, except this one, it looks a little crazy, but it still looks really, really good. Okay, so now that we have our outlet covers already installed, now we're just waiting on a few things to come in from shipping, our mantle, and then I'm getting some more lighting. I'm gonna get some smart lights up here. Another thing is we already have our couch. We have a few sitting chairs already, and we also have the rug. So we have those things for a long time now. They're still in good condition. We rarely be in this room, honestly. Christmas time, we'll chill in here for a little bit, but most of the time we're not in here at all. I can't wait to bring everything back in.